Yay! And here we are.
Yes,
Cooler
here we
talk.
are. Good morning, good morning. And welcome to Cooler Talk
Cooler talk.
with Rhonda and Cynthia. Today our topic is stay in the present. Stay in the present. And I'm going to start by showing you a quote that I discovered.
Okay. So
Um,
timely.
let's see if there it
So
is. Can you see it?
I can see it, but read it for us anyway.
The time is now. The place is here. Stay in the present. You can do nothing to change the past, and the future will never come exactly as you plan or hope for. We want to thank Dan Millman for that quote, which I found on Quote Fancy. So
Cool.
there you go.
Really nice. Thank you for that beautiful
You're
picture as
welcome.
well.
You're welcome. So, yes, welcome to. Well, I want to say hello and would love to hear anybody's comments about how difficult sometimes it is to stay in the present. Would you like to share, Cynthia?
Rhonda, this topic is so timely because I am on deadline again, and that is, let's say, the perfect example of sort of being stretched out of the present. So we're looking at last week I had a deadline, or no, it was this week I had a deadline for Monday. So, you're always doing these things and you're looking at some time in the future, but the focus isn't on sort of what you're accomplishing now, what you're ticking off now. And I work with teams and help them also stay on schedule as I'm writing with them, to keep us ready to submit now. And now we're getting ready for the next phase of this project, and the deadline is Thursday. And I can feel that, like, that stretch, that I'm not sort of focused on what I can handle now. I'm still kind of fretting about like all of the things that have to be done by Thursday next week. And so that's the thing. Like, you always have to, especially when you're dealing with a deadline or something that you're moving towards, that you
Mm-hmm.
always have to kind of check in with yourself. What can I do now about where I'm headed towards, and not worry about like what you have to do on Monday or Tuesday or what have you. But what can I do
Yes.
now? So yeah, it feels like um, gymnastics in a way, to really kind of like refocus yourself back to now, especially when you're dealing with a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the counterparts that I work with, I notice that they move out of the now, especially when they think about, as they're strategizing and thinking about pricing and how to hold these pricing negotiations and what the client might say when we mention this and how we might respond. And it's a very, I don't know what the word is, ungrounded way of behaving, and like in a way it's almost like we should probably think about like role playing. Like, what if we just pretend now that we're in that moment and think about it in the moment rather than think about what they might say a week from now when we have those negotiations. But
Well,
yeah,
that's not a bad idea. I
just
do have
gave
a
myself a tip.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How much do you get accomplished when you're not focusing into the here and now? What gets done?
Yeah, very little. So, as far as the way that I structure my work,
Mhm.
and what's gotten better about the way that I structure my work, I have started to tell my teams not to invite me to meetings in the morning
Very good.
because I have like that's the time when I can write. And when I write, I have to be in the now.
Hmm.
And that's the only way that I can write anything that matters, that's useful, that's readable.
Hmm.
Um, so I save all of my calls for the afternoon because I don't really write in the afternoon. I'm not a night owl. Um, so yeah. So that's been a good change because I have noticed that um, definitely if I'm called in on meetings in the morning, then when I sit down in the afternoon, my brain is fried. Like I almost have to sit back, meditate for an hour before I could even think about writing or doing something productive.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but meditation is a great way to get into the now. It's very hard to do when you're in the middle of a work day where somebody can swing by your desk or ping you or call you or, you know, that sort of thing. How about you, Rhonda?
Well, I'm
Maybe,
kind of typing while you're talking.
uh-huh,
Um, and I too am much better in the mornings, much more energy and focus once I get going.
hmm
A couple cups of coffee help too. Um, I like to what I like to do is get up. I give Barnaby his medicine, feed the cats, both cats, Barnaby and Minnie. Then I fix a drink a glass of water, fix a cup of coffee, go back upstairs, sit in my rocking chair, and just catch up on some reading and inspiration, educational types of things to help start my day. And I
hmm
do some uh, meditation, if you will, and just try to get my thoughts in the right place for the day, to
yeah,
focus on the here and the now. And then I just take my good old time doing whatever I want to do next. And I love that morning routine. And
hmm
I do everything I can to keep it. And I like how you said you're letting everybody know that the mornings you are not available. Um,
yeah,
that boundary setting is so important because people would not know if you didn't tell them. They just would not know. And
right,
it's an excellent way for you to show respect for yourself.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you're
And I can do work that I'm proud of.
Mhm.
I know that. Whereas I have written in the afternoons. Obviously, I can do it,
Sure.
but usually, what happens is, it takes me twice as long. I look at the file, and then I'll think like, this isn't very good. Like, so that it doesn't help me to start my day feeling bad about a product that I put out because I wasn't, focused or centered in the right way. Like my environment wasn't conducive for, the quality that I like to deliver. Well, I think some of the things that you're touching on with this topic of staying in the present, some of what I'm hearing is there's an element of self care or self awareness and self care. That there's a part in your mind that's sort of saying, like, take a look at this moment. Take a look at this here. See where you are. Enjoy your cup of coffee.
Mhm.
Now we're in a meditation phase, whatever that meditation looks like. It could be a walk around the block. It could be feeding the cat, and really just being focused in the task at hand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my way of staying in a peace state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
When
zeroing in on the task at hand, really
mhm,
sort of being all in with this moment. If you're pouring your cup of coffee, just focus on that moment completely. That in itself is the meditation. Just smelling the coffee as it's coming out of your, I don't know, machine or your coffee pot. That whole process, like everything actually could be a meditation. Just
yeah,
always returning to
experiencing the
that
here
now.
and now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a nice place to be. It's not noisy, it's quiet. It's a quiet place. It's a place
it
of
is.
observation, both internally
Yeah.
and externally to me. And because as the day goes on, we have many, many choices that get presented to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we can choose drama and chaos, or we can choose peace and quiet.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up because, and I guess I was kind of going there too because I can hear that there will be other people out there who'd be like, yeah, it's all fine and dandy to be in the here and now and in a meditative state when you're alone in your house or on a mountaintop or in a monastery. But I got to go out into the real world,
Mhm.
and the real world is noisy. It has drama. It
Well,
has people who can't die.
you can choose to participate or not.
Correct.
It's kind of like
Absolutely.
saying, what is best? What is best for me? What's going to, keep me in a good place?
Hmm.
So don't jump into the drama. Um, and I think maybe it was you or someone else I was talking to, and everybody their whole world is projection.
Hmm.
Every individual's how they choose to respond and react to life is a projection of what's going on inside of them.
Yep.
Has nothing to do with anybody else but them.
Correct.
So no matter how they may try to make somebody else look bad, it's really talks about their integrity and their character.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
so do you dislike yourself so much that you're going to try to, bring other people down or put them in a negative or dark place? Well, no, people have a choice. They can join in and reinforce your bad behavior and thinking,
Hmm.
or they can turn around, walk away and wishing you well while they do it.
Right.
It's all a choice. We have so many choices during the day, and so many emotional triggers. Um, and sometimes hindsight is 2020. Practicing the pause is usually a wise thing to do, but
Yeah.
by attacking other people, it is a reflection on you because
For sure. For
that's a
sure.
you're projecting something about yourself to the world. You're revealing yourself, what you think and care about,
Yeah.
or what you want to deny.
Yeah.
The truth is
And
a very, very hard pill to swallow sometimes. But we can discover the truth through other people. Their actions and behavior gives me pause for reflection on, oh my gosh, I remember when I did that. Now I understand why that wasn't a good choice.
right.
For example, yeah, and then
Yeah.
take steps not to repeat that behavior. So, we don't I don't think people down deep really truly want to hurt other people. They just want to get whatever's going on inside of them out.
out. Or
Yeah.
they want to resist what
Well,
they're
that is a form of resistance. Yeah. Yeah.
what they're,
It,
unsure
yeah.
about or don't know.
Yeah. So staying in the present, um, as an old
I
saying, keep my mind where my body is. Of
yes,
course,
I was
being
I
in your
was
head too much is a dangerous place. You want to get that down into your heart and try to operate in life from your heart center instead of your head center. Because,
for sure.
yeah, there's much more peace within the heart than there is the head. Yeah.
And I think that leads to my next thought about staying in the present, which is the present is a peaceful place. There is no drama in the present.
No.
And maybe you're sitting in your boss's as your boss is, I don't know, coming down hard on you about your performance last quarter or whatever. And you're thinking, this is a lot of drama. But even there can be that sliver of awareness in the now that the boss's issues are not your reality, unless, of course, you take that in. And
Mm-hmm.
so, what I wanted to say, because you were talking about mind and heart, is if you're feeling good, then it's a good indication that you're in the present. But if you're
Mm.
feeling kind of bad or off, then it's kind of an indication that you're not in the present. You might be projecting into the future or thinking about something, that didn't go right yesterday or
Or
5
you're
minutes
afraid,
ago.
or it's a fear, or it's something you're afraid of.
But even those things are, they're either mind oriented or heart oriented. And that
Mm.
heart peace, love feeling is mainly present,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
even
there has
even
to be a
fear.
decision. There has to be a decision inside saying, I've had enough of this,
Hmm.
or I want more of this on the positive side.
Right,
You know, it
right.
really is. It really is a choice. It's, um, but being in that resistant flow is, it's an uncomfortable place to be. It's a tension filled, stress uh, filled place, and but it's hard to break out of old habits and old thinking too.
It is. It's, and
So,
it's, let's just say it's the reality of 99% of humanity,
yeah,
99% of the time.
yeah,
um, not to say that like you can't break out and it's not possible, but it is something that you have to unpractice.
mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
monkey mind,
yeah,
non-present
yeah.
way of living, and it takes awareness and it takes a discipline to
It does.
want
Yeah,
return.
it's like kind of like that saying, "Well, I don't like what you said, so I'm going to tell everybody what a horrible person you are and reveal everything you ever said about anything."
Hmm.
What's the maturity level there? That's pretty adolescent. Um, but
Right,
that's where some people are if they haven't done that internal work on themselves.
right,
And I think it's important to, in the here and now, to understand that, stay in the present. Okay, what's going on right now at this moment, at this time, and what can I do about it? You-
yeah.
And look, there's Cece. Hello, Cynthia. Good morning.
Hey.
Yeah, good to see you. You just popped up on your feed, huh? Well, thank you. That took a while. That was quite a delay, actually.
Yeah, 20
Um,
minutes.
Wow.
She's doing a shrug. Yeah, well, Um, but you know what? I really do think that like that's the work. You know, I think our purpose is to have a joyous experience, or let's just say to have an experience, and hopefully that experience is joyous, or the having of the experience is ultimately joyous to your,
Mhm.
inner being, and that like you're feeling fulfilled with every rose that you smell and every step that you take and the new paths that you discover along the way.
Yeah, yeah, and you feel
And
it. You can feel it. I think everybody knows the difference between feeling like that
yeah,
versus tension, anger,
yeah,
defensiveness.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so life is good. Life is good. When you stay in the present, it is like you can so much easier to take in what's going on around you, don't you think?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And the people, the animals, nature, it's just it's so much easier, it's so much more natural to take it in and appreciate it
Yeah,
and feel gratitude.
yeah, a great deal of peace in the present, indeed. And
Yes,
that actually
indeed.
that also talks to timing, that
Mhm.
there isn't a concern about whether things take too long or whether things are, like happening too quickly, that there's a certain peace that comes with knowing that like everything is unfolding at like just the right time, which is now.
Exactly how it's supposed to. Yeah.
Exactly how it's supposed to. And that shade of blue that the sky has is the perfect shade of blue just this time.
Yeah.
um yeah,
Mhm.
no
So,
comparing,
yeah.
no blaming, no.
Well, insanity, the old
Yeah,
definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, yet expecting different results.
yeah,
If you keep getting the same results, it might be wise to take a look at what you've been saying or doing. So change
right,
that and your results will be different.
right. And even the notion of results, I mean, the result would even be something that you're something that you're kind of comparing it to, right? Like, will
Yeah.
this go faster, or will this, burn more if I do this or if I do that?
Mhm.
Whereas, like, sometimes it's like it just kind of burned that way because that's how it burns, or it
Mhm.
went as fast as it would go.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
We can set ourselves up for failure. And, unless you've done some training, one form or another, you might not realize it. So if you stay in the present and be an observer,
yeah,
yeah, being able to observe oneself is an acquired skill. It's not something that comes naturally, I don't think, for anybody, but once that skill develops,
mm-hmm,
um, it's easier to practice the pause.
mm-hmm,
It's easier to say, "Well, wait a minute here. I'm all riled up. Let's take a step back."
mm-hmm.
Or, okay, I'm in a peaceful state. Your motives are in the right place, and you know,
Or
not to cause
saying,
harm.
yeah, I, I've I'm I've been in conversations with a coworker who's working with a very difficult team under a very difficult team
Mhm.
leadership that I actually worked with last year. And I mean, it is validating for me to hear that like she's experiencing the same things. So I know like I wasn't the one going crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but she was saying to me just the other day that like he stood up to just kind of firmly made her point, whatever the topic was.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, like you stood up to it? Like, did you have words? Did you have an altercation? She's like, no, not really, but I just kind of firmly explained where I came from and why this was delivered in this way. And I feel good about myself, she said. And she was like, and I actually don't mind if he understood what I said or not. I know that I said what I needed to say for me. And she felt like I could tell that she felt like I have honored myself by standing firm without the concern of whether this other person is understanding where I'm coming from and blah, 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 all those detaily things that
Mhm.
contribute to the drama. And I felt really good for her. Um, and I was like, yeah, that's the way. That's the way that even when you're dealing with a difficult person and you're dealing with a difficult circumstance, and honestly, it doesn't matter whether this guy has learned the lesson or understood that he's hurting her feelings or just being, nasty and nasty, that, she could stand up for herself, and she isn't going to return there, psychologically,
Mhm.
uh, and spiritually. Like, she has now sort of like cut that drama, that umbilical cord with the drama.
Mhm.
Um, and
Yeah.
I think that's an important thing that like we all have to do. But it does take the discipline, going back to your thing, which is practicing this, like, oh, what am I feeling here? How do I, make this feeling right? How do I do this in a way so that I can sit with this? Um,
Right. React or respond. That's the
yeah,
what was said to me recently. React or respond. Do not react. Respond. Don't react.
yeah,
Um, and even when you respond, you have no control or power over how the other person's going to receive that information. But when your
hmm,
intention and your motive is coming from a positive place, and you also have to speak for yourself, then you have to let that go.
yeah,
And we have to defend ourselves sometimes.
hmm.
And
And the only,
I can be very, very direct if
yeah,
I feel like I'm being cornered or attacked. I will be very direct, but I do my best to stay fact focused. Like,
hmm,
you will not manipulate me. You will not make control attempts. And I will rebuke that. I don't always
yeah,
have to. You don't always have to say it. That's a judgment call. You take a chance either way. Um, but you you are the one that decides how you will be treated. And when you realize that somebody, my BS thermometer goes off. When the
well,
BS alarm goes off, um, and I know I can see through the facade and fakeness, and
mhm,
that you know, I just I will not let people who don't. People are very clear about whether they care about you and for you or not. They're very clear about it, and it's a lot of times it's
mhm,
nonverbal, but it's very clear. And it's very
right,
clear when we don't care about somebody, you know what I mean? And we have to be
but
honest about it.
to cut in and support what you're saying,
Yeah.
that requires presence, to
Yes.
recognize a phony takes presence, and then to
Mhm.
stand up for yourself with somebody who is trespassing, that takes presence in order to do that in a way that sits well with you, that doesn't get mired in, the drama.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
fully support everything you just said.
Well, thank you. And but life is good, and it
It
takes,
is
emotional
one step at a time.
intelligence, and emotional intelligence is learned, and you learn emotional intelligence through the trials and errors of life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Cece
you
is.
just do one step at a time in the present.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I did a post this morning or yesterday, that some people speak platitudes about love,
Mm,
but they can't. Uh, they don't have the integrity to demonstrate through actions and behavior that they understand what love is.
mm,
And it's the way of the world,
yeah.
We we're here to have an experience. We're here to experience life, and in my opinion, to learn and grow from those experiences.
Mm,
Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. It all depends on us. And
yeah.
and and I mean, and we just have to migrate towards people that have similar hearts that we do. You know what I mean? And can discuss things. But
Yeah.
uh, but it's easy to get caught up. I like that story about her standing up for
Ah,
herself. Oh my gosh, that's,
with someone who's
to get
a
to that point
no.
is really, really hard to do. To get to that
Yes, it
point
is.
and be comfortable with it, and then walk away in peace. For someone
Yes.
like me, you know, I go twirls around in my head for several days, and then I say, "What am I doing? I'm not in the
Yeah.
present. Let it go.
Yes. Yes.
Let it
Yes.
go." Yeah. And what can I do better the next time? We all
Yeah.
make mistakes. So, but I love that story. And
Yeah.
um, yeah. Oh my gosh,
Actually,
look what time it is.
yeah, we're running over time, but I did want to add to that story very quickly because earlier in the week she was very concerned about going into a meeting with this person as well as a bunch of other leaders there, and I just told her before. I almost gave her a pep talk before she went into this meeting a few hours before, and I said, you can always take a bathroom break. And if that bathroom break lasts half an hour, I dare them to ask explicitly, where were you and why did it take you so long? I said, you can
Well,
just look them bold face in the eyes and say, I was in the bathroom.
yeah, in fact, I used to use that little trick when I was worked in an office, and I've actually
Yeah,
had them say, "Where have you been and what have you been doing?"
right.
Well, I was in the bathroom.
That's right.
Yeah, and
And just leave it at
legitimately
that.
so. Yeah,
Just leave it
yeah,
at that. But if you need that for your peace and presence, especially if you were in a very tense or violent type of environment, it
mhm,
is okay to hide. It's okay.
yeah. It's
It
called
is not
practicing the pause.
it's not cowardice, and I
No,
knew some of the players that she was walking into a room with, so I fully understood, and she did
yeah,
feel empowered with, yeah, that's right, I can go to the bathroom, and
yeah. We always have
like,
a choice. We always
yeah,
have a choice. I know we've talked in the past about, like going outside and walking around the building. It just to practice that little disconnect for just a minute to get perspective. It's just
Yeah.
so easy to get caught in that the
Yeah.
current of whatever. So very good, nice idea. Going
So
to the
sorry,
bathroom.
sorry for running long today. But
And
yeah,
Cynthia, thank you for joining us, Cece. Always a pleasure.
always, always.
And with that, we're going to sign off. Um,
I love it. Do you want to
I
play
like
by
that
play on
play
what
by
happened in the bathroom?
play by play. Yeah, do you want to play by play? Oh God,
Yeah.
Cece,
If it
that's too
was my
funny.
bathroom, he probably would have said, if it was, sorry, not my bathroom, if it was my brother, he probably would have said yes. So that,
That's
but
funny. Oh my God. Oh, that's a good one. Oh yeah, I was in the bathroom. Would you like a play by play?
yeah, that's great.
Oh, with that, you all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We really appreciate you.
Ciao.
Bye bye.